Now a bit of a change from the usual. This is a very, very small model railway which I made in the back porch of the old house several years ago. Given that we've just been in this one 2 years, that would have been probably 3 or more years ago. And I dumped all these films in a little file and I was going through it and I thought, yeah, go on, I'll show you, because then this will make sense of the bigger model railway that I'm working on now. I hope that made sense. I think I say that quite often. Oh, and don't get excited. The Stephensons rocket is a static model, and most of the other stuff there is in serious need of repair. So, yeah, I haven't got that kind of money to throw around. Here we have step one in the making of a minuscule model railway. We had a bigger one. I lost some film of it. I've only got some photographs of it when it was being sort of laid out. It's nowhere near complete. Pretty much same stage as this one. Anyway, along came Mini Meltdown, and the room that railway was in is now his, because we haven't got many useful rooms. Instead we have a useless kind of back porch come you know, utility room thing, which runs out of the kitchen tragically, and it's a weird shape. So there's this odd bay at the back end of it by the door. What a place to put a door. So as you can see, I'm blocking it. Oops, there goes a fire escape, so that will have to be cut. And this is tiny. I suppose it's just over a metre by about a metre and a bit more than a half, something like that. I'll measure it at some point. And I'm getting a minuscule circuit. It's about as small as they get, except at either end, this isn't going to be very visible, but not end, at either sort of central point, there's a, excuse me for dragging you backwards, there's a very small straight patch made out of two very short straights. Can you see? Ooh, because we need that somewhere, and I've tried it one way round or the other, and neither is a particularly happy fit. I might turn it back round, because look, it's compromising what would be a kind of shunting area. They're quite ugly, aren't they? It's possible to disguise them, but my goodness, they're ugly. So there's some tweaking to be done, and then lay down a sort of sheet of flock, and then start building this. What's the aim? The aim is to have an early style railway. That's pretty early. Forget the traction engines. With a small station, and one which has grown during the sort of 1830s, 40s ish, just gradually grown. So imagine we've got a bit more stuff. Imagine this started off as an industrial halt, perhaps hauling coal or something around, and gradually a station has built up. Very small, very local, very ramshackled and pulled together. And therefore what I'm aiming for is to have like an old village, nothing much Georgian, nothing much you know, 1800s, everything a bit earlier than that. So there's no place for that, unfortunately. I might find one somewhere. And then gradually allow it to age over time, so that later and later trains can come along. Did that make any sense at all? Anyway, I'm going to have to pull most of this apart. That's what I'm aiming to say. So this is a trial run. It seems to work, so now I've got to neaten it up. How about that? And this gives us sort of step one proper, with a loop and some sidings, because I can't fit much more on. There are a lot of plans for something this small where you'll have like a loop, a siding run on the inside. Probably better if I do it. Probably better if I do it that way. So it runs out over there, which would be fun, but it interferes with my village idea. So I'm keeping everything sidings on the outside. That took too long to say. Just in need of a few minor adjustments, and it just so happens that the cows have been along and they've knocked everything over. Little monkeys. And my stuff isn't supposed to be the outside of the fence. Of course they've knocked it in. But anyway, here's our little landscape. It's a little bit camouflagey, but I don't think a lot of it's going to be seen. So I think we're okay. Just got to get the architecture and some hedgerows on it. So it's one of those really hot and sticky nights and I can't sleep, so I've thrown together a landscape. It is thrown together, believe me, absolutely nothing is stuck down. I just want to see how it works. You know, where things are good and bad and how much depth I can get on a very small space. And I've learnt a lot, so it won't be looking like this. It'll have similarities, but obviously this has its own problems. Oops! We've got a dodgy connection over there. Would be over there, wouldn't it? But here it is, in its initial, or form number 2. And there's going to be a lot more cottages and a lot more quality trees and that kind of thing. And the little station needs some sprucing up. And there we have, is it a Dean single? I think it's the one and only in its maroon livery. I think I've chatted about that before, but it's been so long since the last little film on this, I can't remember. Anyway, here we are with phase 1. The best bit is that bit really. That bit's working. Everything else is a bit thrown together. So, there we go. The door handle adds a certain something, don't you think? No is the answer. And I just realised what I said. That's a Caledonian single, for goodness sake, man. Dean single is something else. Never mind. We got there in the end, didn't I? I told you it was late at night. It's not, you know, I'm not thinking straight. And the sheep are coughing. They're not having a good time either. So that was it done. Not long after it had to be dismantled because we were moving house. Once I'd actually got it, you know, to that level. And anyway, Mini Meltdown loved it, so it was worth the bother. I had to pick him up every day, hold him up. He ended up being able to work the controller moderately well for a tiny tot. So no surprise we moved on to bigger things, which have at present stalled. But yeah, that's alright. As for the stuff you see there, almost none of that actually works. The wheels don't go around on nearly all of them. There we go. Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll have more of this one day. Cheers.